You know exactly what you did yesterday in your native language, but when someone asks you about it in English, your mind just goes blank and the words completely disappear.
Right, it is super frustrating. But today, you will learn how to stop freezing. By the end of this deep dive, you will have 3 simple, natural chunks you can use immediately to describe any day without panicking.
Yeah, and we are going to show you one really common mistake learners make when connecting their sentences, and we will give you a super simple phrase to use instead. Plus, a mini challenge at the end to build your confidence.
And we are going to reveal why a boring Tuesday, a totally normal day, actually makes for the best English practice. But first,
Welcome to the deep dive. If you are listening right now, you are in the exact right place to improve your spoken English. Our mission today is all about talking about your yesterday in a real, natural conversation.
it is such a common thing, right? People really want to talk about their day, but they have this emotional block. They think they need perfect grammar or like an exciting story or super advanced vocabulary just to speak.
Totally. It is like thinking you need to be a master chef just to make a simple piece of toast. You really don't. You just need bread and heat.
Exactly. I mean, it is completely normal to lack confidence with your pronunciation and how your sentences flow. But the secret is confidence actually grows after you use the language, not before.
Right. You build the confidence by doing it. So let's start at the very beginning of the day. This is our first major section, looking at the morning routine and the power of really simple verbs.
Because you do not need a crazy adventure to practice English. Everyday routines are actually perfect. We are going to focus on 4 core past tense verbs. Just 4. Woke, made, had, and saw.
Okay, but let me push back on that for a second. Isn't just saying, like, I woke up and made coffee too simple? I mean, won't people get super bored listening to that?
That is what everyone thinks. But native speakers actually tell stories very simply too. A bright morning that changes your mood, or just making a simple breakfast like toast and eggs, it is relatable.
Oh, because everyone does it.
Exactly. It builds the foundation of the conversation. Well, let's look at a sentence upgrade here. A weak sentence might be, I have a good morning yesterday.
Right, because of the grammar mistake with have.
Yeah, but instead of stressing about grammar rules, a better way is to use a simple sequence. Like, yesterday I woke up, I made a cup of coffee, and I felt awake.
I like the rhythm of that. Yesterday I woke up, I made a cup of coffee, and I felt awake. It just flows.
It does. And for you listening right now, try saying that again, but this time in a shorter and clearer way, just focus on those simple past tense verbs. Woke, made, felt.
Simple actions are great. But next we will look at what to do when your morning doesn't go as planned, which honestly is most mornings for me.
Yeah, things go wrong all the time. And since we just discussed a perfect morning, let's contrast it with a realistic, messy morning. This is how we learn to deal with the unexpected.
Because when things go wrong, that is usually when learners completely freeze up, right?
Absolutely. So we want to use phrases like by accident or unexpected. Like, let's say you turned off your alarm without realizing it, or your computer decided to update at the worst possible time.
Oh man, that computer update thing is the worst. Okay, let's do a quick role play. I am going to be a stressed English learner trying to explain why I was late.
Okay, go for it.
I am so sorry I am late. The time of my waking was not good and my sleep was too long, so my speed of walking was very fast.
Okay, stop right there. A lot of learners get stuck here because they try to translate a really complex excuse directly from their native language.
It felt so difficult to say. My brain was working way too hard trying to find all those words.
Right. The simple way to think about it is to just state the facts.
Yeah.
You do not need to explain the whole complicated situation. Just say, I woke up later than I planned, so I had to hurry.
Wow. I woke up later than I planned, so I had to hurry.
Yeah.
That is infinitely easier.
Exactly. And another great word to use here is unexpected. Unexpected just means something happened that you didn't plan for. It is a super simple word, but it sounds very natural.
So, like, the traffic was unexpected.
Yes. Or I got a phone call and it was unexpected. It saves you from having to explain who called and why.
That is such a good tip. Okay, now that you have made it out of the house, how do you talk about the actual journey? There is a 3-word phrase native speakers use all the time.
This is one of my favorite chunks.
Uh,
It is highly reusable. The phrase is on my way.
on my way. I use that literally every day.
We all do. For example, on my way home, I bought fresh bread. Or on my way to work, I saw a beautiful sunset.
I like to think of this phrase like a bridge. It is a bridge connecting two islands. You have your house and you have your work. On my way connects them so the story flows naturally without needing complex grammar.
That is a perfect analogy. Small expressions like this make your English richer without making it more difficult. You bypass all those messy grammar rules.
And you don't need to sound perfect to say this well. You just need to focus on the rhythm. On my way home. On my way to work.
Exactly. Just blend the words together.
So we have got the actions down and we have the journey. But action without emotion is, well, it is like a movie without music. Here is how you add feelings to your story.
Because yesterday is not only about what happened, it is about how those moments made you feel. This is what makes a conversation interesting.
Let's do another sentence upgrade to show this. Here is a weak sentence. I worked yesterday.
It is grammatically fine, but it gives the listener nothing to react to. A better sentence is, I worked yesterday and I felt very productive.
And productive just means finishing useful work, right?
Right. Let's do another one. A weak sentence would be, I stayed home.
Yeah, that is super boring.
Exactly. A better way to say it is, I stayed home because I felt tired. Feelings help the listener understand why something was important to you.
They give the action a purpose. Let's pause for a pronunciation and fluency tip here. For everyone listening, I want you to shadow this sentence. Just repeat it aloud after me and focus on the rhythm, not having a perfect accent. Ready? I worked yesterday and I felt very productive.
That rhythm is so important. Notice how your voice naturally goes down at the end. It sounds calm and confident.
So, you have actions and you have feelings, but how do you string them all together without sounding robotic? We will show you the magic connecting words next.
This is huge. Moving into the afternoon, we have to show how to string multiple events together. The danger is stopping at one sentence. It sounds unnatural.
We need connecting words. Words like then, after that, later, finally, and before.
Let's do a mini role play to show why these are so important. I want you to give me a bad example. Just tell me about your afternoon without any connecting words.
Okay, here we go. I finished work. I met a friend. We ate dinner. I went home.
Ouch. Yeah, that sounds choppy, like a robot reading a list. Now let's upgrade it. Listen to the difference. Yesterday I finished work, then I met a friend. After that we had dinner together. Finally, I went home.
Oh, that is so much better. It guides the listener through the timeline. But what if I forget the word finally in the middle of talking? Like, I just panic and my mind goes blank.
This is such a great question. Communication is always more important than perfection. If you forget a word, do not stop. Do not freeze.
Just keep going.
Yes. Use easier words and keep going. Just say, and.
Wait, really? Just and?
Absolutely. We ate dinner and I went home. Native speakers do this constantly. It is much better to say and than to stop the conversation completely.
That takes so much pressure off.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of meeting a friend for dinner, there is a great vocabulary word we should mention here, which is memorable.
Yes, memorable. It means something was meaningful or special, like meeting a friend for coffee or even just helping an elderly woman with heavy bags.
Right, those little moments that stick in your brain. You can say, I met a friend and it was really memorable.
Exactly. It adds that emotional layer we talked about earlier.
Speaking of memorable moments, how do you express your opinion about yesterday when someone asks you? Like when the day is over and you are looking back on it?
The day is ending, which naturally leads to reflecting on the day as a whole. And there are two really great chunks for this. Looking back, and it reminded me of...
I love those. Can you give an example of how to use them?
Sure. Let's say you met a former teacher by accident. You could say, it reminded me that life can surprise us.
Oh, wow. That sounds so natural and insightful.
Or if you spent the evening reading a book, you could say, looking back, it was a very peaceful moment.
Peaceful just means calm and relaxing.
Let's do a sentence upgrade for opinions, because this is where a lot of people get stuck. If a learner is struggling, they might just say a weak sentence like, this topic is difficult. Right, which completely ends the conversation. A much better way to phrase that is, this topic feels difficult at first, but it becomes easier when you explain it with simple examples.
It is so much more engaging. Let's try another weak one. I cannot speak about my day.
Again, a bit of a brick wall. Instead, try saying, I understand the idea, but I need simpler English and more speaking practice to explain it clearly.
That is such a confident way to express that you are still learning. You are taking control of the situation.
Exactly. Answering specific questions actually organizes your thoughts before you even start speaking. Just ask yourself 3 things. Where did I go? Who did I meet? What made me smile?
Where did I go? Who did I meet? What made me smile? If you can answer those, you have a complete story.
You really do. You have the facts and the feelings all ready to go.
You have all the tools now. But how do you make this stick in your brain permanently? We have a 7-day challenge for you.
Yes, because turning this theory into daily practice is how you actually improve. And the best part is, speaking alone is a completely valid way to practice. You don't need a partner.
So true. Let's break down the 7-day plan simply. What do they do on day 1?
Day 1 is just listening. Listen to this deep dive again or a simple story and just listen for meaning. Don't worry about memorizing anything.
Just soak it in. Okay, day 2.
Day 2, write down the useful chunks. Things like on my way or looking back. Actually, writing them down helps your brain remember them.
Got it. Day 3.
Day 3 is when you shadow those lines aloud. Say them out loud to practice the rhythm and get your mouth used to the sounds.
Day 4 is the fun one. Talk for 2 minutes without any notes. Just talk about your yesterday. Doesn't have to be perfect.
Right. Then on day 5, take out your phone, record your voice, and just notice where you hesitate. Don't judge yourself. Just notice it.
It is so helpful to hear yourself back. Day 6 is retell the story, but in simply English. If you got stuck on a complicated idea, simplify it. Use those basic verbs.
And finally, day 7. Have a mini conversation with yourself in the mirror, or with a friend if you have one. Put all the pieces together.
What that means in real life is you really only need a few minutes a day to do this. And please, give yourself the grace to make mistakes. Fluency is about expressing your ideas comfortably, not using advanced vocabulary every single time.
Exactly. It is about flow, not perfection.
So we talked a lot today about describing the past, but I want to leave you with a final thought here. How you talk about your yesterday often sets your mood for your tomorrow.
It is so true. The words we choose matter.
Yeah, if you can learn to frame your ordinary days positively in English, focusing on the palm moments or what made you feel productive, how might that change your actual mindset?
It is a really powerful tool. You're not just practicing English, you are actively choosing how you view your life.
So just to summarize our journey today, we started with simple verbs to describe the morning. We learned to add feelings to those actions, and we used simple connectors like then and after that to make the story flow smoothly.
And remember to use chunks like on my way and by accident to navigate the unexpected moments.
Keep speaking and keep listening. You are doing great. If you found this helpful, please subscribe to English on Mic and leave a like so we can keep making episodes just like this one for you.
We would love to hear from you.
Yes. Tell us about your yesterday in the comments using 3 simple sentences. Try to include an action and a feeling. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will catch you next time.